Audiobook Academy presents War, What Is It Good For? By Anne Morris. Explained. Chapter 1, The Wasteland, War and Peace in Ancient Rome. Ian Morris's inaugural chapter in War. What is it good for? The role of conflict in civilization, from primates to robots, takes us on a captivating journey back to ancient Rome, serving as a portal into the broader exploration of war's influence on civilization. In this chapter, Morris immerses readers in the multifaceted world of Rome, where the interplay between war and peace was a defining feature of daily life. Morris skillfully delves into the complexities of Roman society, unraveling the paradox that defined it, the constant presence of conflict as both a destructive force and an engine of progress. Within the context of ancient Rome, he examines how warfare was not merely a recurring theme but an integral part of the empire's identity and growth. The discussion likely extends to the far-reaching consequences of war in Rome. Beyond its military campaigns and conquests, Morris likely explores the economic, social, and political ramifications. He sheds light on how war shaped the Roman economy, affected the lives of its citizens, and influenced the political landscape. This thorough exploration underscores the notion that war wasn't just a catalyst for territorial expansion. It was a sculptor of Rome's culture, governance, and societal norms. Chapter 1 of Ian Morris's book offers a deep dive into the world of ancient Rome, a society where the boundaries between war and peace were blurred. Morris's investigation highlights how war, despite its destructive nature, played a pivotal role in the development and transformation of this iconic civilization. Chapter 2, Caging the Beast, The Productive Way of War. In Chapter 2 of Ian Morris's illuminating work, War, What Is It Good For? The Role of Conflict in Civilization. From primates to robots, the focus shifts to a deeper exploration of the multifaceted nature of war and its constructive facets throughout history. This chapter unveils the concept of the productive way of war, shedding light on how conflict has paradoxically driven progress and innovation in various civilizations. Morris probes the intricate relationship between war and productivity, emphasizing how the demands of warfare have historically catalyzed advancements in technology, organization, and statecraft. He likens the harnessing of war's destructive potential to caging the beast, an essential step in channeling the energy of conflict towards productive ends. Within this context, Morris likely delves into historical examples where societies leveraged the pressures of war to develop new technologies, improve logistical capabilities, and enhance their organizational structures. This discussion illuminates how wartime necessities often force societies to innovate and adapt rapidly, leading to long-term gains in productivity and societal development. By examining the productive side of war, Morris encourages readers to reconsider the traditional view of conflict as purely destructive. Instead, he invites us to recognize war's role as a catalyst for innovation and progress, shaping the trajectory of human civilization in unexpected ways. Chapter 2 of Ian Morris's book explores the concept of the productive way of war, highlighting how war's demands have historically driven innovation and progress in various civilizations. By caging the beast of war and harnessing its destructive potential for productive ends, societies have often emerged from conflicts with newfound strengths and advancements. Chapter 3, The Barbarians Strike Back, Counterproductive Way of War, AD 114-15. In Chapter 3 of Ian Morris's enlightening volume, War, What Is It Good For? The Role of Conflict in Civilization. From primates to robots, the author shifts his focus to a pivotal historical period marked by what he describes as the counterproductive way of war. This chapter delves into the era spanning from AD 1 to 1415 exploring instances where the destructive nature of warfare led to unforeseen consequences and setbacks for civilizations. Morris initiates a nuanced discussion surrounding the counterproductive way of war by examining historical events that showcase how wars during this period often resulted in outcomes contrary to their original intentions. The notion of barbarians striking back underscores the theme that sometimes military campaigns aimed at expansion or dominance ultimately weaken the very empires that initiated them. Within this context, Morris likely delves into specific historical examples, demonstrating how overreach and protracted conflict strain the resources and stability of empires. He might examine how conflicts with so-called barbarian groups and external powers not only challenged the empires, but also contributed to their eventual decline. These discussions provide insight into how the pursuit of dominance through military might can backfire, leading to the unintended weakening and disintegration of once powerful civilizations. By exploring the counterproductive way of war, Morris encourages readers to consider the complexities of military strategies and the unforeseen consequences that may arise from prolonged conflict. This chapter serves as a cautionary tale, underscoring the need for a balanced and calculated approach to war and diplomacy in the course of human history. Chapter 3 of Ian Morris's book examines the historical period from AD 1 to 1415, characterized by what Morris calls the counterproductive way of war. It explores instances where warfare, intended to expand or secure empires, instead led to unforeseen consequences and weakened civilizations. This chapter highlights the complexities of military strategies and the need for a balanced approach to conflict and diplomacy throughout history. Chapter 4. The 500 Years' War. Europe almost conquers the world. 1415, 1914. In Chapter 4 of Ian Morris's thought-provoking work, War, What Is It Good For? The role of conflict in civilization from primates to robots, the narrative shifts to a pivotal 5-century span from 1415 to 1914, an era where Europe's influence on the world stage reached unprecedented levels. Morris explores how this period marked a significant chapter in human history, characterized by extensive global exploration, colonial expansion, and the projection of European power. This chapter likely provides an in-depth analysis of how military conflict during these 5 centuries played a central role in enabling Europe to emerge as a dominant global force. Morris might discuss how advances in weaponry, tactics, and navigation empowered European states to establish vast colonial empires spanning continents and oceans. These developments not only expanded European territories, but also facilitated the exchange of ideas, cultures, and resources on a global scale. Additionally, Morris might delve into the economic and technological transformations driven by these conflicts, highlighting the role of war in fostering innovations such as the Industrial Revolution. The discussion may also touch upon the complex dynamics of colonialism, including the exploitation of resources and the clash of cultures, which were direct consequences of Europe's imperial expansion. Through this exploration, Morris encourages readers to recognize the paradox that emerges from this era, the simultaneous advancement and exploitation resulting from Europe's conquests. He prompts us to consider the lasting impact of this period on contemporary global dynamics and the complex legacy of European imperialism. Chapter 4 of Ian Morris's book delves into a 5-century period, from 1415 to 1914, during which Europe's influence on the world stage grew substantially. It explores the role of military conflict in enabling Europe's colonial expansion, technological advancements, and global dominance. This chapter encourages reflection on the multifaceted consequences of European imperialism and its enduring impact on the world. Chapter 5. Storm of Steel, The War of Europe, 1914-1980s. In Chapter 5 of Ian Morris's insightful book, War, What is it good for? The role of conflict in civilization. From primates to robots, the narrative shifts to the tumultuous period spanning from the outbreak of World War I in 1914 to the 1980s. This chapter delves into the profound impact of war on Europe during these tumultuous decades, examining the complex interplay between conflict, social change, and technological advancement. During this era, the world witnessed unprecedented levels of destruction and innovation. Morris likely explores how World War I and its successors reshaped European society by introducing new forms of warfare, including the use of tanks, chemical weapons, and aerial bombardments. These innovations had far-reaching consequences, both in terms of the devastation they caused and the lessons they provided for future conflicts. Furthermore, Morris may discuss the profound social and political transformations brought about by these wars, including the collapse of empires, the rise of new ideologies, and the reconfiguration of global power dynamics. The discussion could also touch upon the human toll of these conflicts, highlighting the experiences of soldiers and civilians caught in the crossfire. In examining this period, Morris encourages readers to consider the role of war as a catalyst for change, both destructive and constructive. It prompts us to reflect on how these tumultuous years shaped the modern world, influencing politics, technology, and societal values. In summary, Chapter 5 of Ian Morris's book explores the period from World War I in 1914 to the 1980s, characterized by significant global conflicts. It delves into the impact of warfare on European society, discussing the technological innovations, social changes, and political transformations that emerged during these tumultuous decades. This chapter invites readers to contemplate the dual nature of war as a force that can both destroy and reshape the course of history. Chapter 6. Red in Tooth and Claw. Why the Chimps of Gombe Went to War. In Chapter 6 of Ian Morris's enlightening book, War. What is it good for? The role of conflict in civilization. From primates to robots, the focus shifts from human history to our primate relatives, specifically the chimpanzees of Gombe. This chapter explores the intriguing phenomenon of chimpanzee warfare and its potential implications for understanding the roots of human conflict. Morris likely delves into the history and observations made by renowned primatologist Jane Goodall at Gombe Stream National Park. Goodall's work revealed that chimpanzees, like humans, engage in violent territorial disputes and organized attacks on neighboring groups. This behavior challenges the notion that war is uniquely human and suggests that conflict may have deep evolutionary origins. The discussion in this chapter may revolve around the reasons behind chimpanzee warfare. Morris might examine factors such as competition for resources, territory, and social dominance among chimp groups. He may also explore the parallels between chimp behavior and human conflicts, shedding light on the shared tendencies that link our species to our closest primate relatives. By turning our attention to chimpanzees, Morris invites us to consider the evolutionary context of conflict. He prompts readers to reflect on whether war and violence have roots in our distant past, underscoring the idea that understanding the origins of conflict can provide valuable insights into its role in human civilization. In summary, Chapter 6 of Ian Morris's book shifts the focus to the chimpanzees of Gombe, investigating their propensity for warfare and the potential insights it offers into the evolutionary roots of human conflict. This chapter encourages readers to explore the connections between chimp behavior and human history, ultimately aiming to illuminate the role of conflict in the broader context of civilization. Chapter 7. The Last Best Hope of Earth. American Empire, 1989. In Chapter 7 of Ian Morris's thought-provoking book, War. What is it good for? The role of conflict in civilization. From primates to robots, the author brings the focus to the contemporary era, particularly the period following the end of the Cold War in 1989. This chapter explores the role of the United States on the global stage during this transformative time and raises questions about the nature of American power and its impact on the world. Morris likely engages in a discussion about the unique position of the United States as a global superpower after the Cold War. He may examine the responsibilities and challenges that come with such a status, including the role of military force in maintaining global stability and protecting American interests. Furthermore, this chapter might delve into the complexities of American imperialism and its role in shaping international relations. Morris may discuss U.S. interventions in various parts of the world, addressing both the motivations behind these actions and their consequences, both intended and unintended. By examining the United States as the last best hope of Earth, Morris prompts readers to contemplate the role of a dominant superpower in the modern world and the ethical and strategic dilemmas that arise from wielding such influence. This chapter invites reflection on the evolving dynamics of global politics and the challenges facing nations in an increasingly interconnected world. Chapter 7 of Ian Morris's book delves into the post-Cold War era, focusing on the United States' role as a global superpower. It discusses the responsibilities and challenges of American power, including military interventions and the consequences, while prompting readers to consider the ethical and strategic dilemmas of wielding global influence. Key points from the overall book. 1. Morris explores the paradoxical role of war throughout human history, considering both its destructive and constructive aspects. 2. Conflict has been a consistent element in the evolution of human civilization, shaping societies, economies, and cultures. 3. The evolutionary roots of conflict can be traced back to our primate ancestors, providing valuable insights into its role in human behavior. 4. Advances in technology, organization, and statecraft have often been driven by the demands of warfare. 5. The counterproductive way of war exemplifies how conflicts, when mismanaged, can lead to unintended consequences and the decline of empires. 6. European expansion during the 500 Years' War demonstrates how warfare can shape global politics, technology, and societal values. 7. The period from 1914 to the 1980s marked significant social, political, and technological transformations due to wars and conflicts. 8. Chimpanzee warfare offers intriguing insights into the evolutionary origins of human conflict. 9. The United States' role as a global superpower after the Cold War raises questions about the nature of American power and its impact on the world. 10. Morris's book encourages readers to think critically about the role of conflict in civilization, both historically and in contemporary contexts, challenging traditional views and prompting reflection on the complexities of war and its consequences.
Thank you so much for watching at Audiobook Academy. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more amazing content just like this.